G'day and welcome to another episode of Tomo's Tune-Ups. On this episode, we're working on Thomas's Yamaha 110. We have a couple of service bits here we're going to be doing. So we're going to be changing the battery, changing the engine oil, putting a new spark plug in, and adjusting his gear shift lever. So let's get to it. Alright, so this is young Thomas. He's one of my subscribers. We work with him with Penrith City Tyres Automotive. So we have a couple of service items here. The first one we're going to be changing is the spark plug. The next one is going to be the engine oil as well. And because the old battery is dead, we have a new one. So it's going to be pretty straightforward, but I'm going to show him how to do it. So first thing we're going to do is lift up the bike. We're going to put a crate underneath it so we can start changing the spark plug. While we're there, we're going to adjust the tyre pressures, check the chain, make sure everything's fine, and then get on to changing the engine oil. So let's get to it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is remove the spark plug. So you want to go and remove that now, Thomas. So a really good trick to do is grab the new spark plug and then hold them up side by side to make sure that they're the same length. So what we want to do here is make sure that the threaded section along with the electrode is the exact same length. Once you've confirmed that they are, then we can reinstall the new one. Now, when Thomas originally installed the new spark plug, he broke the spark plug inside the thread. So on the side of the box, it says we're going to be tightening it until we get to about a quarter to half a turn once it starts to crush the washer. So we'll install it by hand first and then use that as a guide to tighten it up. So always start it by hand first using the tool, Thomas. No, it goes the other way. What a rookie. So now that that is done up by hand, we're going to go a quarter of a turn. So we're going to start at the 6 o'clock position and we're going to move it up to the 9 o'clock position. So just here. Yep. So how does that feel? Feels pretty good. So that's probably about where we need it. We don't need it any tighter, and that's all we need to do to install it. We get the spark plug boot and slide it back on to the spark plug. Push it until it clicks. Yep, that's it, and it's nice and secure. Perfect. All right, let's get onto the engine oil. So now that we've done the spark plug, we are going to take the bike off the crate. We're then going to put on the stand and then drain the engine oil. Alright, so next step is to drain the engine oil. Where is the sump plug, my friend?
Just between here.
Terrific. Alright, let's get the drain plug out and get the engine oil draining.
Not coming.
Not coming. Alright. Might need to give old Tomo a go. There we go. Now you can undo it with your hand. So what we'll do is remove the engine oil cap, so that way it'll breathe properly and allow it to drain a bit quicker. So if you can't get it, it's pretty much drained.
Yeah, no, it's not coming.
Yep, that's right. All right, let's throw the sump plug back in. All right, so now it's finished draining, we can put the sump plug back in. So you just want to do this up by hand until it comes to a complete stop, and then we're just going to nip it up using the ratchet. Yep, so you're just going to nip this, you're not going to swing off it too much.
Yep.
All right, you happy with that?
Yep.
All right, I'll check it. So once again, sump plugs, like spark plugs, you don't want to be over tightening. Fantastic, that is excellent. So we just move the engine oil out of the way and we'll dispose of that. Okay, so next thing, now that we have tightened up the sump plug and drained all the oil out, we're going to flip the bike around and we're going to put the oil in the engine. So what we're going to do is grab the new engine oil. We're going to pour probably half of the 1 litre into the engine. Then we're going to start it up, we're going to check it, and then we're going to adjust it if need be. Make sure that we use a funnel as well because the hole is so small. All right, so we take the dipstick out, move it off to the side.
Where do you want?
Just put it on there, that'll be right. Okay, so we're just going to use the funnel to make sure that we don't spill it. So just push it in there a little bit more just so it'll hold it properly. Yep, so I'll hold that. Now you want to make sure that you pour the oil nice and slow, so that way it's not going to spill anywhere, and that's it, you're pouring it the right way. So you probably want about half of the bottle in there to start off with. Oh, just disregard Jackson. All right, let's have a look, see how much you poured in. So on the side, it's got a gauge. So you just want to turn it to me, let's have a look. Yep, so it's exactly half. Cool, let's put the dipstick back in, and then we can put the battery in it and then start it back up. Nice and tight so it doesn't get spilt. All right, remove the funnel. Put the dipstick back in, tighten it up all the way. All right, just finger tight. Okay, so last thing we're going to do is install the battery, but before we do, we need to install the rubber box that it sits in, just to stop it vibrating around. We're going to attach the wiring first, so push it all the way on until it stops. Nice and easy, yep, that's it. Slide it in there, nice and easy, and then, yep, send it home, grab the strap, that's going to go up and over the top, and then just to the securing bolt. Flip the tab over so it holds it in there. Come on, mate, you didn't have your Weet-Bix today. All right, and there we go. Battery's now secure. So the next thing we're going to do is inflate the tyres. We have our Ryobi tyre inflator deflator just on the other side of him there. We've set the tyre pressures to 28. He will just adjust this when he goes off-road and rides the bike. That's it, and then just push the nipple down. So either pull or push it, depending what you find easier. There we are. We're going to hold the bike together using cable ties. By the look of it. All right, so lift it straight up, pull it off. Yep, and then put the valve cap back on. And then we can just repeat the same process for the rear. Nah, it should be right. So just sit on it normally, and let's have a look, see where it wants to naturally sit. So put your foot on there. So, it's all right, so just put, yep, one foot on the ground. So try and push down. Okay, so it's probably a bit too high. And then go to change gears. All right, so we'll adjust it down one, see how it feels, and if it's too low, we can go back up. So to make the adjustment, we just loosen off this 10mm right here. Once you've loosened it off, we're going to take the bolt all the way out. And then we're just going to move it one tooth. So we'll just bring it out. So we're just going to move it one spline down. All right, try that, Thomas. So down will be great, but then up, you're gonna have to put your foot under even further. Okay, so we've gone the wrong way, but that's fine. We can just make the adjustments. So we're just gonna bring it back up two. So one to where it was, and then the second one is just above. All right, try that. The bike back and forth, and then click it up. All right, so that's gonna be, yeah, probably too high. So let's bring it back down one, see where we need it to be. Needs to be there. So we're going to be pulling up with your big toe. That's it, there you go. It could also be the fact that your boots are so thick that your foot's probably getting too big as well to be able to change gears properly. Yeah. All right, so let's tighten up there. It looks like it's probably about where it was to start off with, but these are just the little modifications you need to make along the way. So essentially it's just each rider is different depending on the height and the length of your foot, what sort of boots you're wearing, and what feels comfortable as well. Along with if you're going to be doing a lot of stand-up riding or if it's sitting down as well. So we just tighten that back up. All right, let's put it up on the crate. Stand it back up. stand up the bike.
Alright.
Alright, we'll grab the crate, we'll slide it back under. Alright, so with any chain adjustment on a motorbike, you want to make sure that the wheel is going completely straight in regards to the frame. So if the wheel's slightly off center, it'll want to go to one side or feel like the back end is going to want to overtake from behind. So when you're spinning the wheel, make sure that it is 90 degrees, or sorry, should I say parallel to not only the frame, but also the way the wheel is rotating in relation to the bike. So we're going to do a bit of an adjustment here on this chain. You probably want around 20 mil of movement on the chain. So we're just going to come along here, loosen off both sides of the securing nut here, and then we're just going to make the adjustment with these nuts just here as well. So we're going to grab a 19 mil, we're going to loosen off this nut. So you might just have to apply a bit of pressure. You just want to hold on the handlebars so it doesn't decide to jump off. Alright, so we loosen that. On the side here are a few notches, as you can see, long and short ones, and there's a little notch on this adjuster here as well. So you want both sides to be exactly the same. So what we're going to do is loosen that just a little more, so that's all good. We're going to grab a 10 mil, so I'm going to do one side, Thomas, and you're going to do the other. You're going to loosen off the 10 mil, so that's the locking nut. That's not going to do its job properly. Going to grab a 12 mil as well, just to prevent it turning. And then we're just going to loosen off the lock nut, so loosen the 10 mil. We're then going to loosen the 12 mil. So once we've got it unlocked, we're then just going to make the adjustment. So we're just going to turn it a couple of times and just bring the wheel back just a little bit. So we're probably going to go halfway between 1, 2, 3, 4. So it'd be about 4.5 lines before then tightening it up. So use your 10 mil first. So loosen off the nut, so you want to be pulling it towards you. Yep, so that's going to do the same thing, but that's all right. So we're going to use the spanners. Sorry, I'll just come around here. Do you want to jump over to your left a little bit?
Yeah.
I'll just bring this down. That one. Okay, so take yours off. Okay, so we'll fit this one first, and then put your open end there, and then you want to push down. Just nice and easy, that's it, yep. And again, so you want it to be completely loose. And one more. This should be enough. Yep, sweet. So now you're going to be turning the large spanner, so you're going to start at the bottom and work your way up. You want it to be about 4.5 lines across. So let's have a look, see where it is. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So yes, this side needs to come back a fair bit. So the chain was very out of adjustment. You want to make sure both sides are exactly the same. Now, I used to work at a particular motorcycle company at the start of the year. For those of you who know me quite well, know this brand and company. I'm not going to say who it was, but I was very skeptical about starting a job with them at the start of this year, mainly because I had zero experience working on motorbikes. Now, the reason I was skeptical about working on them is because, that'll do for now,
Yeah.
is because I not only had little experience, but I was just really unsure about working for them. They told me, and I quote, "You'll be right, a car mechanic is no qualified bike mechanic." 3 months later, they terminated my employment, which I was quite pissed off about. So since then, I have not really done a lot with motorbikes, nor do I go back there or condone anyone going to that company, which I will not disclose. So we've just made that adjustment. Now, the wheel is turning fine, but it is a little bit tight. So I would say somewhere here, something is likely bent, or the adjusters are wrong on each side. So we're just going to loosen that nut off there, Thomas. So just loosen off the large one. Yep, so you just want to go down just to bring the wheel back. So when you're making your adjustments, you want to make sure not only are they equal on both sides, but also that you have taken out the free play as well. So we want about 20 mil of free play. Yep, that'll do. So you're going to check the longest part of the chain. So that's still got a little bit too much. Let's give it half a turn, Thomas. So grab your spanner. So half a turn, starting here, pulling all the way up, all the way up, all the way up, all the way up. Yep, stop there. I want to check the adjustment on the chain. So that's still a little bit loose. give it a turn. So we just recheck it again. Yep, that feels pretty good. And also it is going nice and straight. Terrific. So if you can't use the gauges on either side or a line or something, just go off the way that the tyre's spinning in relation to the rear swing arm. So this bit here, when it's rotating as well, once you've rotated it, check the chain adjustment, so long as it's not too loose. So that's probably the loosest part there. Let's just give another quarter turn.
So I'll start about...
Yep, and then just come up. That'll do. So different areas of the chain you're going to have extra slack, and other places you're going to have it's going to be firmer in others. So you just want to find the loosest part of the chain. So I'm pretty happy with that. It's significantly better than what it was when we first started. Now I don't have any proper chain lube, but we're going to use some HHS 2000 to lubricate the chain. Actually, change of plan. We're going to use the Monte Carlo Special Edition WD-40. So all we're going to do is just rotate the wheel and just spray it. So you should use some decent chain lube for this. As I said, because I don't have any, we're just going to use this. This will probably get us out of shit, just to make sure that it's working fine. We might even go ahead and replace the chain at some stage, depending how it goes down the track. All right, so we just nip up those two 10 mils on either side. Yep, so grab your 10 mil and just pull it all the way up until it stops. A little more, yep, that's it. And then we do the same on this side. All right, last thing we need to do is just do up the axle nut. So we're just going to tighten that. Now you may need to hold the other side depending if we can tighten enough. All right, that's tight. Cool, make sure that still spins freely. Terrific. All right, let's take it off the stand. Let's kick it in the guts and start it up. All right. So we'll turn it around once again, and then we can start it up. Do you have petrol in it?
Yeah.
Good.
Plenty.
All right, so we just turn the fuel tap on because at the moment it's turned off. Cool, let's get the key and let's start her up. All right, mate, you can do the honours.
All right.
Make sure it's in neutral. All right, mate, start her up. All right, so we might need to kick it. Doesn't even sound like it wants to fire. So the choke is on.
Oh, that's off. On is off, yeah.
Okay. So let's just check this battery to begin with. Make sure we have enough current. Now it shouldn't matter because we have tried kick starting it. Well, battery has 5 volts and it should be 12. It's got 7 volts. All right, let's just plug this in. It doesn't even sound like it wants to go though. So we're just going to plug the old battery back in and just see if it's going to start. Is there something disconnected under the battery maybe? Sorry, under the seat.
I haven't disconnected anything else.
Okay. Grab the spark plug socket for me. It's definitely getting fuel because you can feel it. Push the button.
Yeah. Oh yeah, true.
Come on, mate. Old Saxon, you should know this. Alright, so because it's not starting, we're going to check for spark. So it appears that we have no spark, so we need to start tracing some wiring back. Alright, so we've just tried to start it with both the starter motor and the Kickstarter, and nothing's happening. So I've taken the spark plug out, we checked for spark, there's no spark there whatsoever. I've taken the spark plug out, I have put my finger over the hole of the spark plug and we have no compression. So somehow we've lost compression, it's not even moving the piston whatsoever. It could likely be the clutch packet sticking together, which is preventing it from starting. So it's going to go down the track a little bit further diagnosis. We're probably going to have to pull one of the side covers off and have a look, see if anything is sticking, and then work it out from there. Considering the new battery is at about 5 volts when it needs to be 12, it's not going to be contributing to it, but because it does have a kickstart, it should override the battery altogether. So yeah, we have another problem with this, but that'll be for a future episode right here on Tomo's Tune Ups.